My name is Britta Noresten and I'm a painter. I paint mostly portraits of women and of myself. And I'm also a teacher at the Florence Academy of Art, Sweden, which is a school where I studied myself for 3 years to learn drawing and painting. And in my third year, I became an assistant teacher, and then I was asked to stay on as a teacher. So that has allowed me to have a studio there, and where I work from. Yeah, like when I grew up, I always wanted to draw and paint, but I didn't think it was a possibility. I don't come from an artistic home, so I studied economics, international economics, and a lot of other things because I didn't know what to do. But in the end, I went to university and got a degree in economics, and started working at a bank. I worked there only for a year, and I realized that it was not for me. So in the end, I quit, and I actually moved to Paris to think about what I wanted to do, and then I applied to the art school that I later on went to. I didn't think it was possible. In a way, I was very, very scared to make that change, but I felt like I had no choice, because otherwise I would end up a few years down the line being even more unhappy and just thinking, kind of, what if? Academic art was not an interest at all for me. But the more I read about all these, the painters that I admire, and especially Helene Scherfbeck, she had a very thorough academic training. She lived in the late 19th century up until 1940 something. So I thought, I have to start there. I have to start by learning, the craft, and see where that will take me. And so she did a lot of self-portraits as well, and she's influenced me enormously. Even whoever I'm painting, it's always my interpretation of them. So it's, in a way, I always kind of superimpose myself into the painting, sort of what I see in the person. Or when I paint myself, I don't think it's that different to paint myself from other people. And it's mostly about the little things. My portraits are not very expressive in the sort of brushstroke or in the colors or in the they're kind of calm, and I use a very sort of low chroma palette, very kind of grayed down colors usually, because I feel like when you tone everything down, the little things can speak louder. They're not drowned out by a lot of other things. So I can, little thing, what can I express with a shape, or the contrast between two values in the face. Things like that interests me a lot, like the pure technical aspects, but how they convey an atmosphere and a story, and I'm interested in the sort of combination of sort of the fragility, I guess, of humanity that is kind of visible on the outside, and also the sort of how your face is kind of like a shield, that it both conveys things and hide things. So I guess beauty, it's not about sort of at all that sort of society's standards of beauty. It's, for me, it's when I'm drawn to something and I want to look at it, and it can be something that is even kind of considered not beautiful at all, but if you portray it with you put a lot of of time and energy into the craft of portraying something, it becomes beautiful. It's never been a conscious choice to paint like that. It's always just what's around me, and anything else would be like taking on a costume, I think.